I'm going to give credit to Justin Kobe, a local technology leader here who started it and went on and took it over. This past year, we've had just great support. Thanks to Laura Dixon from our board and also Aaron Newman, two of our key board members, have really led the way to try and get this going and really bring some great technology, talent, and excitement to Rochester. I think we're doing that today. Some of the thank yous I want to mention, I get to get up here and say a few words to welcome you, but believe me, the people that have done all the work behind the scenes really deserve recognition. I want to start by thanking Susan George from our events team. I want to thank her, Cassie Franklin, Kevin Donahue, Gina Stein, and Mark Cohen from our chamber team who have really worked tirelessly behind the scenes. I want to thank Jim Brown and the great convention center staff. Folks, we're getting out of COVID, so it's so nice to be back in person doing something like this. They are a fabulous group here that works so hard, so they've done a great job with the room, setting it up. I want to thank all of our sponsors. I want to thank all of our vendors who are here, who are taking time to support it. And just very briefly, this is really about trying to create much more energy and excitement for this region. Rochester has a fabulous technology history. If you go back, decades and going back to the days of Kodak and George Eastman, fast forward. We are blessed with 18 colleges and universities. We're blessed with a cadre of fantastic companies here. This whole tech ecosystem is growing. I don't think we tell our story enough. And part of today is really to bring much more attention to Rochester and grow this ecosystem. There's a book called Jumpstarting America that was written by two MIT professors. They studied 102 regions across the country looking for what are the next technology hubs. Aside from Silicon Valley and New York City and Boston and Austin and places like that, out of 102 cities and regions, who did they select as number one as being that next technology hub? Rochester, New York. And we're very, very proud of that. I don't think people in this room might realize it. A lot of people in this region don't realize the fabulous brain power and talent we have here. And they come out of our universities, they come here, they emanate from so many different areas, but they bring so much here. So that really is what we want to do, is really enhance this hub. Senator Schumer, Congressman Morelli both have legislation moving forward right now federally that may bring some huge investments to Rochester and this region for technology investment and enhancements in the future. So that said, here we are today. We have a fabulous lineup of speakers. Certainly Steve Wozniak is a headliner, but he is not to be outdone by a cadre of other phenomenal technology leaders. And I think the point here is, starting with Steve Wozniak and our speakers, these are people, and many people in this room, you've kind of changed the world already. Our world has changed. Technology changes that, and every year, every opportunity we have to really herald that and support it and grow it. We want to grow this ecosystem. And the last pitch I'll make for Rochester, we have a lot of young men and women that live in challenged neighborhoods that I think are the next generation of great talent. We want to support them, provide opportunities for them to come into this whole technology field and grow this hub, grow this ecosystem for the future. And you're helping that by being here today. So I just appreciate all of your support, what you've done, being a part of this today. And I want to just close by saying I want to thank our key media sponsor, is Channel 8. And I want to welcome Teresa Marsenberg, who is a anchor in Channel 8. And Teresa made the big trip this year. She comes from Florida, and she came in January. So she is committed to Rochester. So I want to please welcome Teresa Marsenberg, who will be our MC for the day. And we're going to have a great day ahead. So thank you so much. Welcome Teresa.
Good morning, Rochester. I'm used to saying good evening. I typically anchor the evening newscasts with Adam Chodak, the 6, the 5, the 5:30, 6, and the 11 o'clock. So this is a strange time for me to be up this time in the morning, but it is so nice to see all of your smiling faces. It's so nice to be in a room with a lot of change makers and all of the energy and excitement that you bring. Thank you, Bob. It's my pleasure to be your MC today at the 2022 Rock on Tech Conference, brought to you by Greater Rochester Chamber and its partners. Your presence here, as Bob mentioned, signifies a positive movement or progression in this 2-year-old pandemic. I relate it to if any of you are parents, it's like terrible twos. We're just like, we're done with it. We're about ready to have a tantrum. I'm sure we've all had tantrums from time to time, and so it's just great to be able to be here with you all. This conference would not have been possible without the generous support of partners and sponsors who donated their time, their effort, and of course, funds to make this possible, to host over 500 business leaders from all walks of life, from IT companies to manufacturing to service to construction and more. We all use technology to better ourselves and the business we do. So with the ever-changing world of tech, it's imperative we give you the latest information on key topics that is successful not only locally, but also on a national level. So thank you, partners and sponsors, for your commitment to helping us share valuable information to our Rochester audience today. And so with that said, please allow me to welcome all of them today, and I want you to hold your applause until I have read them all. And here's another disclaimer. You guys have some funny sounding names from this girl from Florida, but I'm gonna work with it, and please forgive me if I mispronounce someone's name. Starting with our major sponsor, Foundry, a company created to meet the institutional demand for better capital access, efficiency, and transparency in the digital currency mining and staking industry. And our partners, CMI AV, Mountain House Media, Rochester Industries Educational Foundation, True Creative, and of course, WROC TV. Our premier sponsors, Cloud Storage Security, Dixon Schwabel and Company, Emerge, Indotronics, Indotronics, Avani, L3 Harris, Live Tiles, M&T Bank, Paychecks, Sands Family Foundation, and Wegmans Food Market. Our corporate sponsors, Comtech Solutions, MSM, National Esports Association, Redcom Laboratories, and Synergy. Our brand sponsors, Cause and Effect Strategy, Cheshire AV, Dunn Goodwin, Data Weavers, Edify, ESL Federal Credit Union, FLXAI, LaChase Construction, Rock 2025, Rochester Public Library, Monroe County Library System, Visit Rochester, and WXXI. And finally, our educator sponsors, Reliant Credit Union, Rochester Institute of Technology, Roberts Wesleyan College, and SUNY Brockport. All right, so please join me in giving them a huge round of applause at this moment. So if you're in the market for any of the products or services offered by our partners and sponsors, we encourage you to give back and do business with them. So we want to ensure that you have a great conference experience at our Rock on Tech conference. So to be informed of all our sessions, speakers, vendor showcase, and breaks, please be sure to download the conference mobile app by going to the conference website, rockon.tech, and download the app by clicking the pink app button. Also, be sure to use the hashtag RockOnTech22 on social media throughout the day to show up on one of 3 live social media walls around the ballroom. We would love to see your pictures of you and your group all on our social channels. So please tag us at Rochester Chamber, there is no E in chamber, and at Rock on Tech. All minds clear? All right, we're gonna get started. In the interest of time and to ensure we stay on schedule, I will not be reading our speaker bios. I encourage you to read all about them in the conference mobile app that you just downloaded. So now, please allow me to welcome our very first keynote speaker. He's Chief Security Architect of Walmart, Ira Winkler, presenting on human security engineering and how we should stop relying on the failed human firewall.
Wow, I got music. That's so cool. Anyway, okay, so a couple things before I start. Number one, I was literally speaking in Dubai on Monday, and I flew in yesterday, and I am tired. Number one. That on top of the fact I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, so if I say anything stupid today, I have 2 reasons for that. I do actually have some connections to this area. So I went to school at Syracuse, and actually the first time I was ever protested, and it was only once, it was here in Rochester. It was kind of funny. I was doing a pre-recruitment tour for NSA because I started my career at NSA, and whenever they were going to send a recruiter up to the area, they would send like somebody in the profession, and I was like a computer intern, and they're like, okay, send it. So I volunteered for this area because I went to school at Syracuse, had friends at Cornell, and then I was like, oh gee, well, Rochester, okay, throw that in. And then I started presenting, and there was this Abby Hoffman wannabe in the audience, and it was kind of funny. I had everybody vote him out of the room. That's my moonbeam story. If you ever see me, ask me about my moonbeam story. So anyway, was there anybody here that heard about this or whatever? There's always like 1 or 2 in the audience. Okay, so anyway, let me talk. If they have my slides or whatever up. Okay, no, that's the wrong slide. Okay, okay, whatever. So let me start out by telling, there's always stories behind my presentation. So the way this one kind of came about, and I'll give you let me take a step back. I'll tell you another story. They're all related. So I've been known for doing espionage simulations where companies pay me to basically go into them, do black bag operations. I put together teams of former intelligence and special forces officers, and we essentially rob companies blind. So there was one company, a Fortune 500 company that produces energy systems, and no, it's not GE Power Systems, just for your record, but this one company paid me to go in there, and so I go in with my accomplice, and I tell him, okay, we're gonna go in during the morning rush hour, and as we go in, we're just gonna go in, there's a receptionist desk in the middle, just ignore the receptionist, just follow everybody in, go through the doors they keep open. So we basically walk in the door, go kind of to the left where there was a door that everybody went through. So we went up there, followed the elevator. You needed a swipe card to go up, but everybody essentially just got on the elevator, pressed all the buttons, and we did too. Got off at the first, that's like the 2nd floor, found an empty room, and when I got to the empty room, I picked up the phone and I said, hi, I'm the CIO for the company. I need my contractors to get badges. Where do I send them? I got transferred around a couple times, then somebody said, okay, send them down to the front desk. And then I go down to the front desk, and the woman's like, I saw you two go by, and I tried to stop. I go, oh, I'm sorry, we were talking. Oh, don't worry, you look busy, don't worry. I'm like, okay, well, thank you. It's like, well, we need badges. And then the woman's like, hold on, and she calls a security guard. The security guard basically comes to get us and takes us to the little guard office that they had. And we're getting our pictures taken, and then we do that, and then we're waiting for them to be printed up through the card printing machine. And as we're sitting there making small talk with the guard goes, so what do you two guys do? I go, oh, we do computer stuff. Then the guard goes, well, do you need access to the server room then? I'm like, as a matter of fact, we do. So anyway, got access to the server room. And then just for the record, the guard's like, well, it'll probably take 2 hours for the accesses to kick in, but, I go, that's okay, we'll go to lunch first. So anyway, before lunch, you make sure, actually during lunchtime, me and my friend go down to the basement, because all these, operation centers are in the basement, and then basically swipe all the doors until we get the one that opens up. Open that up, there's the server room. And for those of you that know what I'm talking about, the Windows primary domain controller was there in the front of the room, logged on as the administrator, so we added a new admin user to the network, and pretty much that was the whole penetration test for all practical purposes. So anyway, then what happens? How many people think that guard sounds like an idiot? Pretty much everybody, let's face it. But let me tell you what happens, because the guard's not the idiot. So anyway, I get called, so about 3 weeks later, I hand in my report, and I get a call from somebody, and the guy gets on the phone, he's like, yeah, I'm the physical security manager for the organization. I need to know the name of the guard who gave you the badge. I'm like, what? And then he repeats himself. And I go, okay, let me start by saying this. In the first place, I don't know who you are. And even if you are who you say you are, I'm not telling you. And he's like, what do you mean?